Step into the spotlight.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Underground Geek here, just hanging out in my goat farm, listening to people go wee on Twitter right now. So as you know, the comic pros have circled the wagons. They have circled their wagons, and they're scared for their lives on Twitter. No, I'm not kidding, on Twitter. So I thought this would be a good opportunity, since we're a bunch of women-hating trolls living in our basement with no children, unmarried, with no girlfriends, and refrigerator magnets of sexy women on our fridge, that I would make this video here for my picks for my favorite strong female characters in TV shows. And what's funny is most of them were the protagonists of the show, like they were the main character, or comic book as well. And people were like, oh, well, you don't like women in comic books. And I was like, please show me where I said that, please. And they can't ever do it, and they always run away because they can't ever prove it. They want to prove a fact without you having any evidence. They want to call you out, and just say, well, he's this, that way maybe other people will attack him and blackball him and stuff, and that doesn't work. Sorry, this doesn't work. But so on my list here, I gathered a bunch of female characters that instantly popped into my head as my favorite characters, and then I thought about some things that make them great. And it's funny because most of them have the same characteristics. And you know what else is funny is it's realistic to actual female people, the women. The women that we hate, those women. So anyway, I want to start with some of the lower end ones, popularity-wise, that people don't really get as comic book people, but that are comic book characters. Some of these were more popular in the 90s. But the first one that I want to start with is going to be Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. I remember her mostly from my PlayStation days, but she also had a comic book series. I can't remember which one came first. Maybe the comic book came first, but I did actually have some of her comic issues. She was pretty much, how I say this, she came from a rich family. There was a lot of mystery behind her parents dying and things like that, and she goes on these quests and kind of solves puzzles and has adventures and stuff, and saves the day from the likes of evil. Okay, pretty much. And she's taken years to get good at sharpshooting, climbing, running, jumping, all this acrobatic stuff. She's very good at it, and she's very charismatic, very confident, and she's not afraid to take somebody down if they get in her way. I love that about the character. I feel like she's very strong, but at the same time she's very pretty. She gets through a lot of knockout dragouts, but she's able to be more intelligent in the fight a lot of times and get out of a situation. See, that's very relatable to an actual woman, because women don't naturally go around looking for conflict. They look for adventure, but they don't go around just looking for a fight all the time. That's not realistic. And so she is able to solve a lot of problems. She's really good about that. And I like how she's very athletic and able to swing from vines and all this crazy stuff. Pretty much she's Indiana Jones. But I really like that about her. So moving on, the next on my list is going to be, let's see who I shall pick next. I guess I'll go with Witchblade. She's another character that was more popular in the 90s. They had a comic book series. I think they still have, maybe they still have a comic book series going. But anyway, they also had an anime, and I was very excited about that. I watched the whole series. I thought it was awesome. I believe they had a TV show for a little while that got canceled, and I was very sad about that. I liked that show. She's just really cool. She's almost like another version of like Spawn or Venom or something like that. She gets her power from that gauntlet, and She's able to transform herself into this armor that's not really armor and save the day from the evil versions of that. You know, she goes around fighting them. She can make these blades come out of her arms, all these cool things. She's a lot like Guyver. If you like that show, I really like Guyver, and I really like the manga and the anime. I loved the movies as a kid. But Witchblade is just very strong. She's not afraid to fight. She's not afraid to defend people. And see, that's what she does most of the time. She's defending something. Just like I said before, they don't go around just naturally looking for a fight. What would happen is that she would be attacked and she would have to defeat that enemy, or she would have to go save somebody else. You know? But I thought she was great as a character. And she's not really getting the attention that she deserves right now, but she was great. And I'm sorry if I missed some characters. You know, that's just the way it goes. So next, let's talk about Psylocke. Now, I'm going to talk about another character in a minute that kind of reminds me of her. I don't know which one come first, but they seem a lot alike. Their characters are a lot alike, and their costumes are a lot alike. But Psylocke is awesome because she has a power to make these like energy swords. She has psychic abilities as well. And she's very good at hand-to-hand combat with a katana and other weapons. She's just all around awesome. She's very strong and at the same time very pretty, just like I said before about the other characters. Beautiful. And I don't know. It's just she also is not getting the attention she deserves. Her comic book run right now sucks. You know, for as much as Marvel talks about diversity, they keep giving all these strong women a hatchet to the knee and cutting their legs out from under them. So next, let's talk about the other one that kind of reminds me of her, Electra. Now, to me, Electra is very underrated as well. She's a great assassin. She's very good at hand-to-hand combat. She's gave Daredevil a run for his money very many times. She's defeated multiple hand ninjas at the same time. She's fantastic. But she's also on my list. I love the character. I love the design. I even like when they added the little, I guess, bandana to the top of her hair. You know, I even thought that was a good add. But there again, it's another character that's not getting her due. So next, let's talk about Lady Sif. She is a I guess you call her a partner to Thor. There's always been that innuendo that she kind of likes Thor, but she's one of the best at hand-to-hand combat I've seen with a sword. She's a very powerful warrior. She reminds me a lot of Wonder Woman. They always draw her very beautiful, and I don't think I've ever even seen her in a comic here lately. It's been a little while before I've even seen her in the comic books. Where's she at? I don't know. That's another character that they're just like sweeping under the rug. But she's very powerful. She's very combat savvy. She's not afraid to fight, but then again, she doesn't go just like looking for a fight. She goes to defend people. Lady Sif as well is, like I said, one of those characters that they just kind of sweep under the rug. And let's talk about the movie Thor. Let's talk about Lady Sif and Thor. She did not get hardly any screen time. Very powerful warrior that we only got to see just a little bit of. Now, I would say that they could add her to the Infinity War movie and give her some more screen time. Let's show her fighting some more bad guys. She's great at it. Okay, so next on the list is going to be Spider-Woman. And I'm talking about the Jessica one. I think her name's Jessica Drew. But a very good character. She has a very cool backstory. They changed her backstory a little bit. You know, at the very beginning, she was like an evolved form of a spider into a woman. And, then they abandoned that later. And they came back up with she was exposed to the spider DNA in the womb. They were going to use her to be an assassin. And then she escaped and she went on, kind of went rogue and met up with Spider-Man and had encounters with him every now and then. Very good character, very cool character. She can even sometimes have the light ability to fly and also shoot like a bioelectricity from her body. I mean, that's pretty cool abilities. I kind of think maybe that's where they come up with Miles Morales' electric abilities, but something about spiders and electricity, they're always trying to combine the two. Most of Spider-Man's villains have some kind of ability with electricity. I don't know. Something about shocking spiders. But anyway, so she's a very underrated character. She had her comic book run canceled. They even drew her like more of a cosplay character in that series. The costume sucked. I didn't like it. I liked the old costume. I even liked the Ultimate costume, where it's like a full body suit, except for her hair. I like that suit. But no, we've got to draw her in this cosplay outfit with goggles and all this stupid stuff. But she's on my list. I like her. So next here we're going to talk about here. How about Poison Ivy? Poison Ivy is a very cool character. She has the ability to control plants, to talk to them. And she has the ability to use poisons and pheromones to make people do whatever she wants. Pretty cool character, huh? She's not necessarily known for physical combat. She tries to stay away from that like any normal woman would. She tries to use her feminine ways to get what she wants, indirectly fighting them. And if that doesn't work, she'll try to use the plants to fight them. But that, to me, is a realistic version of a woman. She's going to use what she's given. She's very smart, very intelligent. I believe she's a doctor, and she gives Batman a run for his money a lot of times because I think he's also been known to use her help in creating like antidotes and things like that for plant viruses and things, because she's very smart about that. She's very intelligent. Then again, I don't think she's getting very much of her due in the comics here lately. She's been slight villain in this latest run on Batman, and she may get a bigger run on DC Metal, because they talked about how she may be one of the people that has her own little section on the circles, but she's on my list as well. And she's also friends with the girl that's next on my list, and that's going to be Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is a very good character, but to me, right now, she's very overused. Very overused. It's kind of losing its spark. And the reason being is they're trying to milk as much as they can off the Suicide Squad. I understand that, but there are other characters. You know that, right? There's like 100 female villains in the Batman universe that you could use. And they keep using her, but she's very, very fun character. Now, she also is an example of a realistic woman relationship with a man, because depending on the storyline, Joker can be a very abusive person towards her. Very controlling, very manipulative, and she is not all there. She kind of lets him do that sometimes, even though she knows it's the wrong thing. And there's a lot of realistic women and male relationships like that out there, where the man is abusive towards the woman. So I think that's kind of realistic, but at the same time, she's strong enough to sometimes just whop him over the head with her mallet. But we can kind of let her die down a little bit. Let's let her go by. Let's use some other characters. So now we're getting up to the big girls, so to speak. Let's talk about some of my favorites growing up, and that's going to be Catwoman, of course. I really, I've always liked Catwoman. I loved her in the animated series. I loved her in the Michael Keaton Batman movies. Selena Kyle has always been great. I even like her in the Gotham show. I think she's fun. I think they're all too young, and they need to go ahead and jump forward about 10 years and get different people so they can go ahead and be like, in their early 20s and start being actual characters. But Selena Kyle is great. Now, to me, her and Black Cat are pretty much the same character. I don't know which came first. Now, Black Cat has a slight ability over her, and I guess that's how they wanted to make it different. But Black Cat is awesome because she is the closest thing to Batman that I can think of as a female. She's the exact opposite of him, but she's very good at combat. She's very good at sneaking. She's very good at she's very smart and able to be intellectual in situations and figure things out. And I don't know, she's just a great character. But there again, I don't think her series. I think she's in a series right now with Batgirl or something, and I don't think it's doing very well. But she doesn't necessarily have to have her own series. But yeah, she's on my list. I like her. She's very strong and very pretty. Seems to be a little trend going here. So the next on the list, of course, is going to be Black Cat. I loved Black Cat in the Amazing Spider-Man TV show in the 90s. That's where I was kind of first introduced to her. That's where I really only knew her from. And then later on, I read some comics that had her in it. And so then, got my alarm going off here. So then I read up a little bit more on her, and she's very good thief. She's one of the best thieves you've ever heard of. Right now, she's kind of running the city. I don't really like that. She's never really been somebody to be a big player. She just does her own thing, and so I didn't really agree with that. And they did her very dirty in the latest Defender comics where Diamondback shot her. I was just like, okay, that's stupid. She would never fall for that. But anyway, Black Cat's a very good thief, and from depending on the storyline, she also has the ability to control luck, kind of like Domino a little bit. It's like she gives you bad luck or something. You know, it's a weird deal. They talk about it sometimes how she's able to give Spider-Man bad luck, and that's how her and Spider-Man, that's the reason they'll never work out. But there you go. Again, a strong character. She avoids combat when she can, uses what she has, her beauty and her wits. Okay, there you go. Now, I think she's got augmented strength slightly depending on the storyline. I think that gives her, a little bit of an edge over other people, because otherwise she would just be a normal woman trying to fight superheroes, and that wouldn't work. Now, on up the list here, we're narrowing it down to the last couple. And so let's talk about, let's see, we may be getting to the very last ones. Oh yeah, let's talk about Donna Troy. Now, depending on the storyline, I'm going to go with my favorite. Donna Troy was pretty much created as a copy of Diana to usurp her in the kingdom. She's looks just like her, so therefore they're going to try to use her against the kingdom to try to take over. And I really like the Titans run right now that has her in it. I love the costume. I love the character. She's great. She's not afraid to fight, but there again, she doesn't look for a fight. Women don't go around looking for conflict. It just don't happen. It's very rare that you'll find somebody that does that. The women as a whole they're more about empathy. They don't like to have conflicts with people. You ever got in an argument with a woman? Most of the time, she's either going to try to end the argument by yelling you into submission, or she's just not going to talk to you. Okay. But anyway, Donna Troy is awesome because she's pretty much Wonder Woman. When they first started the storyline, she was like, what do they call her? It was like Wonder Girl, I believe they called her that. And then later on, she was kind of her own character, Donna Troy. They just call her Donna Troy, the Amazon. But she's great. She's got super strength. She's got super endurance. She's very smart. She's not overly smart, though. When I'm saying smart, I'm not saying like super smart. She's just, she's got a good head on her shoulders. But I really like that character. So last and not least on my list, we're going to talk about what I think is arguably the best female character that they have out there right now, and it's one of the originals. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is on par to me in the Trinity as one of the strongest characters. She is very smart. She's very good with combat strategies. She's not afraid to fight. Now she's one of those odd characters that actually loves to fight, but that's because she was raised in a society that's what the women did. They fought. They had to fight. It was all women. And so she does not run away from a fight. She runs towards it because that's their fun to them. The Amazons love to go, they love to skirmish with each other just because. I mean, they're Amazons. But she's great. She's got super strength. Sometimes she can fly. Sometimes she's got an invisible airplane because comics. And she would have no problem taking down Batman and some of the other superheroes with brute strength. She could even arguably take down Superman if Superman wasn't taking the fight seriously. But she's a very strong character. She's fierce. I loved the movie when it came out. It's awesome. It really, embodied Wonder Woman. She had that sweet innocence, but she also had that ability to, I don't know, she had that combat ability along with it. But let's talk about this for a second. All of these characters have something in common. They're smart, beautiful, and they're able to hold their own. Okay, I like all of these characters. There's nothing wrong with these characters. For you to say that we don't like women characters, you're obviously you're not basing it on any facts. You're just throwing around names. Because look at all these female characters that we like, and I know I've left some off of here just because I can't name all of them. There's not a lack of diversity in comics. There's a lack of thinking in comics. They don't know what they're writing about. They're trying to pander to a group that's not there. These comics are for everyone. It's just that you're trying to make them exclusive instead of inclusive. These powerful women don't need you to save them. Look at these comic books. Look at them saving the day. They can save themselves. Let's just read these comics and let's get back to basics here. But that's my list, guys. That's some of my favorites, and that's, pretty much. I didn't really want to give everybody numbers, but that's kind of where I put them on my list as far as the way that I like them. And so tell me what you think, guys, and tell me if you had anybody else that you like as female characters, and how this whole female diversity thing is just garbage. All right, guys, talk to you later. Underground Geek out.